Hương đứng chỗ này nè, bà lấy cái reflection thấy không?
Để quay một vòng nữa nha. Coi con bò to nè, chắc con bò mẹ gì? Bò mẹ hả? Con bò kia sắp tới kìa, để coi nó từ từ nó tới kìa. Có bầu hả? Are you sure?
Sure. Một bự quá trời ra.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Nó có bụng bự vậy là nó có bầu cái gì? Yeah.
Nó liếm lưỡi kìa. Rồi. Đâu nó liếm lưỡi à. Đây làm lại chụp cho.
I know, honey. I don't have nothing, honey. I just want to say hello. Look at her. Oh my gosh. You don't trust me anymore, right? And you are right. I don't have nothing, honey. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Look at this one. Hi.
Tới tiếp mấy con này nó già.
Nó hết tinh rồi, nó đi. Còn bò đen.
Nha. Đâu có.
People were actually
Đi luôn.
paying. People were paying.
With this modular construction method, they were actually able to complete the hotel.
Do you have family back there?
Look on top of the first four floors, and you're going to see all of the concrete cubes everything stacked on top of each other.
Over here, if you want to look over to the left, it looked like an upside down T. It was just the first 4 floors on each side of this white section. You can see where they started adding the rooms at the top over here on both sides. But the warehouse, not only were they building the rooms, they were also furnishing them. So when they came over here, they already had the beds, the chairs, the couches, the desk, and everything ready to go. So the crane operator just started stacking them like Legos. Boom, 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 row, row, row. And they just squeezed in between them, hooked up the electrical and the plumbing, and boom, it was done. 202 days, 1968. 1822. This was the settlement for the Spanish soldiers that were stationed at the Alamo. This is where they lived. Also, in 1836, when the Battle of the Alamo was going on, this is where Santa Anna had his cannon line positioned when he was bombing the Alamo. These days, it's actually an art district on the street level. Definitely recommend y'all come check it out. Now, who here has seen the movie Miss Congeniality? I got one dude that didn't see it in the movie Miss Congeniality. It's very unique. You got the stage over here to my right, separated by the river, and the seating to my left. It's not like any other concert venue in the world. And if you look over here to my right, above the stage, you see these 5 bells over here. Those actually represent the 5 missions here in San. This is where Santa Anna had his cannon line positioned when he was bombing the Alamo. These days, it's actually an art district on the street level. Definitely recommend y'all come check it out. Now, who here has seen the movie Miss Congeniality? This cowboy roping these bulls over here. This is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Originally a San Antonio Public Library in 1930. And from 1968 to 2001, it was the Hertzberg Circus Museum. Imagine that was pretty cool for the kids and for the big kids like me. In 2013, the Briscoe opened up, and there's some pretty cool things that are in there. You got Pancho Villa's last known saddle that are in there. You got Pancho Villa's last known saddle that's in there. You got Santa Anna's ceremonial sword that's in there. You also have an interactive diorama of the conflict of the Alamo that's in there too. Yeah, there are no whales.
That's glowing.
Over here to my right, you see this island right here? This is for my lovebirds right here. His Rough Riders frequented Old Mill Crossing often back then. As we come into this next part of the building, they put these faces on their building. Let me get a little closer. They're called grotesque. They're not exactly smiling faces, as you can see. You wonder why they would put something like that on their building. Well, the reason is because the Smith brothers are very superstitious. So they put those grotesque gargoyles up there so kind of ward off bad business. But right now it's actually vacant. And over here to my right, this is the International Center. From 1968 to 1998, it was the main San Antonio Public Library. Since 98, it's been called the International Center.
I saw a golden butterfly when I was glowing.
And as I'm circling around over here to the right, I want you to look straight up front right here at this bridge right here. This is for my lovebirds right here. This is Love Lock Bridge. So couples will get locks, and they'll decorate them, and they'll lock them to that bridge as a sign of their love. Now, but years later, after the country healed, Robert Hugman got involved. He's the architect and known as the father of the Riverwalk. And it opened to my left. You see this white building right here? This is the Drury Inn. Opened up in 1998. Originally the City Public Service Building in 1921. And if you look through the glass right there in the first floor, you see those chandeliers that are lit up. That's a good representation of how high the water got here back in 1921. It was a serious thing back then. And over here to my right, for my drinkers over here, this is the Esquire Tavern, built in 1933 to celebrate the end of Prohibition. No more bootleggers. A foot race at that point. Also features the longest wooden bar here in Texas, over 100 feet of beer-soaked wood. This is our Aztec barge right here. It's another place you can catch the boat ride. And as we come out front of this bridge, up high to my right, this is the Aztec Theater, built in 1926. Back then, it played black and white silent films. And I know that seems kind of dull to us these days, and everything that the kids are thinking, black and white silent films, what's that about? But you gotta understand, that was like IMAX 3D back then. That was a thing to do, you know. These days, it's actually concert venues and entertainment and stuff like that. But after being seen in the movie Selena, in honor of her, and after her tragic death that was very sad, they nicknamed it the Selena Bridge in her honor. This is it right here.
All right.
Now, who here's been to the Alamo already? All right, good deal, about half the boat. All right, so this building, like all the other buildings around the Alamo, they're all relatively short. They're not like downtown skyscrapers or anything. And people that's been to the Alamo thinking about it now, you may be wondering why. Well, the reason is because here in San Antonio, it is a city ordinance. You cannot build a building tall enough to cast a shadow on the Alamo because it's a war monument. In fact, every building before it even undergoes construction around the Alamo has to undergo a shadow test down low, all right? Over here to my right, this is the Casino Club building. Now, unfortunately for my gamblers, there's not going to be any winner chicken dinner, or any poker, or any dice. Why can't we do, woo, happy birthday, dear Harris. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, Bob. Over here to my right, this is the Clifford Building, built in 1891. In 1941, Robert Hugman, after the completion of the river, he purposely put his office over here on the river level just to prove that the Riverwalk was safe and there's not going to be any more floods. You can see his name written on the awning up here, and a little bit lower by the steps you see a statue of him. That's Robert Hugman right there.
Okay.
And over here to my right with these yellow lights, this is Casa Rio, the very first restaurant to open its doors here on the river in 1946. It took 5 years for a restaurant to appear here on the river. Like I said, it wasn't created for entertainment.
This one.
But they're still doing it to this day.
Yeah,
Here's
Casa
some good
Rio.
mariachi music over here too. As we come out from under this bridge right here, I want you to look up high to my left. Right about now. Y'all see that red? Y'all see that red statue up here? That is the Torch of Friendship, built in 2002 by artist Sebastian. It was a gift from Mexico to the city of San Antonio and represents the friendship between America and Mexico. It is 65 feet tall and about 45 tons. Now I got a question for everybody on my boat. So, who here thinks the river is natural?
Turn around. They're going to go to that.
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay, I got one hand over here, birthday boy. All right, another hand, all right. Everybody else, y'all think you can. This section I'm turning into right here, from this bridge back, is the 100% man-made section built in 1968 for the World's Fair to connect the river up here with the convention center and what is now the mall area. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. With the natural part of the river, they built around it. This section is 100% man-made. And if you happen to fall in this part of the river, please don't panic. Just stand up and walk out. You'll be just fine. This is about 3 or 4 feet deep through here. You may be upset about that outfit you just messed up or that cell phone you dropped in the water. But you're going to live okay. You're going to be alright. Oh, representing around 300 days of sunshine San Antonio gets a year. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why they celebrate that. We don't like 300 days of sunshine here in San Antonio.
Nope.
Well, up high to my right, y'all see that UFO looking thing up there? Looks like an alien spaceship.
Okay.
That is the Tower of America.
That's the Tower of America.
That 750-foot tall observation tower and restaurant is the second tallest observation tower in the nation. Vegas had to go and beat us out with the Stratosphere. So I'll tell you something else about it too though, right? So the restaurant goes around in circles. It takes about 48 minutes to go all the way around while you're eating. It's very beautiful. I've ate up there before. It's very nice. Well, say you're eating up there and you have to go to the restroom in the middle of your meal. When you come back, you're going to have to go hunt down your table. The reason is the dining area goes around in circles. The plumbing does not. Yeah, so the bathroom's actually stationary and doesn't move, so yeah, your table will have moved by the time you got back. I wasn't kidding about that one. And right up front right here, this is the beautiful Stargazer statue. One of the newest additions here to the river in 2022. Built by artist Pedro Reyes.
Cái này mới.
It's made out of volcanic rock. And that star up there with the hole in it that she's gazing through is made. I'm going to tell y'all something about those after we turn around up here. I can't tell y'all everything on the way up here, then I'm going to be making up stuff on the way back. Y'all won't know if it's true or not. By the time we find out it ain't true, it'll be too late. I'll already be at home chilling. So I think we should just keep doing it like this. What do y'all think? Sound good? Alright. I gotta tell y'all something about that. Unfortunately, this is as far as I can take you on the boat, as you can see. I am gonna tell you what's back here though, in Yanaguana Garden. Yanaguana Garden is a very kid-friendly place. They're always doing free events for kids. I'm an average Joe, so free always sounds good to me. Over here to my right, you see the statue of this man holding the baby right here? This is the St. Anthony de Padua statue. Does anybody know what St. Anthony means in Spanish? Anybody? It means San Antonio. That's who San Antonio was named after. And that baby in his arm represents Jesus. That's why the arms are open, welcoming anybody. It was a gift from Portugal in 1968 for the World's Fair. This next one is the hardest one to see when it's dark because it's behind these trees. But I do got my trusty flashlight right here. I'm gonna shine up here. I'm gonna go slow so y'all get a good look. Everybody straight up high. Y'all see that church through the trees up there? It's a white church with that green and gray steeple. That is the St. Joseph's Church. Built in 1868 by the German community back then so they could worship in their own native language. And I don't blame them. I couldn't imagine going into a German church. I wouldn't know a word they were saying. Apparently, yeah, they got tired of that. They said, you know what, let's just build our own church. And so they did. And every third Sunday of the month at that church, they have an all-male German choir that goes over there and sings in German. So if somebody find it interesting, they go check that out. Well, I get some common questions asked to me being a captain. And one of them is, are there fish in the river? Yes. We have about 17 different types of aquatic life here in the river. Every 2 years, a section of the river gets drained, not the whole thing, for maintenance and cleaning. Now, a long time ago, they used to let people actually go down there and dig in the marsh and see what they could find. They called it a treasure hunt. But I got the mic on me, so I got to be PG rated about this. They started finding a lot of inappropriate... Yes. Around 300 people a year fall in the river. Now, I was given a tour one time, and I'm talking about this, and this gentleman chimes in and he goes, ugh, it's probably drunk people at night falling in, getting drunk and falling in at night, right? Like the song goes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere all the time. Doesn't have to be at nighttime for somebody to be drinking. And the crowd laughed when I said that, and so now I tell that story on my tours. Well, thank y'all very much, guys. Y'all been a great crowd. Just want to say a few things before I let y'all off here. Everybody just remain seated until I get the boat secured. Everybody take everything with you. Yes, that includes your spouse and your kids, all right? So you gotta take those with you, okay? I don't do no babysitting or nothing like that, all right? It's kind of like closing time at a bar. You ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And last but not least, guys, this is my tip jar right here. Tips are allowed, except...
Muốn ăn gì thì mà kiếm đi.